I am Jacob, aka Mr. Also. I'm also joined by my partners in crime, Martez and Aaron. Don't call him Aaron or he'll turn green. We are the host of Saturday Morning Serial Podcast. We review our and react to our favorite superhero and video game news, shows, and movies. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. Happy Saturday to you all.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. I'm excited, man. We had some new stuff to talk about today, and one thing was super duper satisfying, and the other was all right. We gonna get into it.
All right. So let's get into it. First things first. We're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat today. This is going to be a two-parter. Mortal Kombat came out yesterday on Friday, and then we're also going to talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier a little bit later. But first, let's talk about Mortal Kombat, or yeah, Mortal Kombat, because they didn't have a tournament. So I thought they were going to have a
No
tournament, but they
tournament.
didn't. They didn't have a tournament.
No tournament.
I guess they're saving the
Oh,
tournament for the next movie.
oh, okay, we jumping right into spoilers, huh?
Hey, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. The spoilers everywhere. Okay, this if you
Yeah, it's about
if
to
you don't
be
want no
heavy.
spoilers, then turn it off right now. Come back later. Right. So yeah,
Super duper. We
yeah.
give you 5 minutes to go get something to eat. Well, no,
all,
5 minutes,
the,
5 seconds. Watch.
all of that first part about no tournament probably just saved a bunch of people time.
Right.
There is no okay. So yep, there 5 seconds in. There is no tournament in this movie. There is
Zero
no
tournament.
tournament.
Zero tournament. All right. So
The
let's
tournament does not happen.
just start off with the beginning, where Scorpion, or Scorpion was with his family and ended
The
up,
beginning.
yeah.
It starts real good.
Hanzo, Hanzo and
Hanzo
Bihan.
Hisashi.
Mm-hmm.
Hanzo Hisashi
Yep.
and Bihan.
Yep. Behind, which is Sub Zero. They get into it real quick because he Sub Zero decides to kill his family. Because he was trying to kill off his bloodline because of their long history, their whole clan's history of beef, and he was trying to be the
Hmm.
last one. And then it was a pretty good fight. I mean, in the beginning, just it was a little bit one
Start
sided.
off good.
Yeah, a little bit one sided because Sub Zero already had power. He already had his ice
Hmm.
power. Scorpion was just had his weapons and he couldn't do anything. So
Business as usual.
yeah.
It started off just like the story actually was in the games. Sub Zero always had his abilities.
Hmm.
Since a young age, and the Lin Kuei and the Shirai Ryu always had smoke.
Hmm.
So that's all it was. It was just
Hmm.
natural clan smoke. They what I do like is that they show, even though it was subtle, they showed that the Lin Kuei are not Japanese. They're
Hmm.
Chinese,
Chinese, yes, exactly. Those
and they're not
details.
ninjas.
Right.
They're Chinese,
Yes.
and that the Shirai Ryu are Japanese ninjas because he
Hmm.
was speaking Chinese at the beginning,
Yes.
and they even say in Chinese, and then he
Hmm.
had to speak Japanese so they understand. But the movie start off fire because it started off with a badass clan battle right from the beginning, and if you
Hmm.
call it a battle because it was basically Scorpion. Well, sorry, Hanzo because he wasn't Scorpion yet,
Hmm.
running through,
Right.
Lin Kuei,
Hmm.
and then there was a good fight between him and the Sub Zero like it's supposed to be. But the results, if you know the story, you know what was gonna happen. You knew how the fight was gonna go
Right.
eventually.
Right.
But there was a caveat. There was one thing that was different
Hmm.
in the results of that fight than normal, and that was the baby.
The baby.
His
The
daughter.
baby. His daughter,
Hmm.
in which was
His
confusing
daughter.
as hell at first because I didn't know it was a girl. I didn't see no pink or anything like that. So, I mean,
Yeah,
usually that's how you figure these
back in the
things out, ain't
hey, hey,
it?
listen, you sure Ryu, you wear yellow and that's it. Boy, girl, whatever is yellow.
Right.
That's it. Ain't
So
no pink in.
that's a plot hole for later on, but they try to use it to introduce the new characters. But then he ends up losing the battle. Spoiler alert again. And he ends up going into the underworld, and then Raiden shows up out of nowhere to save the baby. Oh,
As Raiden does.
yeah, as Raiden does, shows up last minute because his hands are tied for some reason. So
Now,
Yep, gotta like my homeboy. It's a YouTuber. he barely makes stuff. Now his name is Phaelus. He
Mm-hmm.
always called Raiden the god of useless. God of useless.
Yeah, anyone else notice that it was like watching two separate movies? You get all amped up in the first 7 minutes, and then you get to the rest of the movie, the cinematography and everything just like flip. Like,
Yes.
what?
Yeah, I feel that, bro. It was kind of disjointed. And in that sense, it was very disjointed, almost to the point where I kind of wish they would turn this into a show instead
Mm.
of a movie.
Mm. Yeah.
Because, even as bad as Conquest was, at least it got a chance to tell a story over several episodes, which is always better when you have a deep story. You have more time to tell it. And this kind of, like y'all said, not even just the story, but the cinematography changed from the past to the present, and it started looking to me like a TV show. Actually, like even with the way it was shot, it was
Well, to be honest,
interesting choice.
they probably ran out of money because by today's standards, this is like not even a high budget movie. They only had
True that.
$95 million to work with.
Yeah.
That's not a lot when it comes to
And
what you're trying to do. Yeah,
well, I mean, they had to put all the money into the Gordon effects. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
In
they
the
had
first
a
7 minutes.
yeah, they had a B-rate cast except for some of the older guys. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys were B-rate actors. You know what I mean? They were all mostly all
yeah.
from TV shows. So
I mean,
yeah,
so you had you had one or two faces which were instantly recognizable.
yes,
You got Jax, aka
mm-hmm,
Jimmy Olsen, aka Eggs from True Blood,
yes,
you know,
mm-hmm,
and that's an instant recognized face. And then for a lot of us martial arts fans, you got Shang Tsung, who you and me, Jay, famously know from
mm-hmm,
Marco Polo,
yes, mm-hmm,
having hands. I was so
yes, yeah,
disappointed. Another spoiler alert,
yes, mm-hmm.
real quick spoiler alert. Shang Tsung does not fight in this
Nope,
movie,
does not
and
fight
that's
at
such a
once.
waste
Yep.
because his actor got hands.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
and I'm
yes.
so disappointed he didn't fight in this movie. But I digress.
Well,
It's
let's not forget about Ludi Lin, who played Liu Kang. He was the Black Ranger in the Power Rangers reboot
Yeah.
also.
Yep.
Zach
Yep. Yep. He
played
played
Zach in
Zach.
it, and he did his thing. And as awesome as he was, he's also one of the major disappointments of this film for me.
Yes. Let's get into
Because
it.
I love Zach.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let before we start talking about pros and cons, let's
Yeah.
hit the story, right?
Yeah.
So new main character by the name of Cole. He's an
Yeah.
MMA fighter who sucks, right? And
Basically, yes.
okay, he don't suck. He just he don't think.
Mm.
He just be going in there to get the check and leave.
Mm-hmm.
He can win most of his fights, but he don't even be focused. He just be trying to get that paycheck and leave. So we get introduced to him in a fight that he
Mm-hmm.
fights, and he loses when he was supposed to win, but he ended up losing focus and loses the fight. And you find out he got I don't know if that's his wife or it's just his girlfriend and a daughter.
No, it's his wife and
And
daughter.
It's his wife and daughter.
so
Yeah.
Biological.
that's his wife. Okay, so she is his wife and his daughter, and that's his main motivation. So you already know. Oh, these are gonna be his motivating factors. Blah blah blah. So, after his fight, we're introduced to Jax very, very, very quickly. Jax is talking to him about the mark on his chest. Very subtly, he's not bringing up what it actually means. He's just kind of getting a feel for him to see that he's a champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately all hell breaks loose.
Mm-hmm.
And Behind shows up, aka Sub-Zero, and starts raising all kind of hell.
Yep.
And so we jump right into the plot, really, really quickly, maybe even quicker than I feel like it should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe should have been a little slower into there, but it was like, hey, I'm Jax. All hell breaks loose.
Right. I think that they just wanted some non-stop action in the movie. Like, I think that's kind of how they wanted it. That's why they started it off with some action. But at the same
Hour and
time,
30 minutes.
it just yeah. And at the same time, it just seemed like it was rushed. There was hardly any story or anything like that to explain these things. And then, um, you know, when they showed Sub Zero going after him, and before they showed him going after, they showed Shang Tsung talking to him, saying, "Hey, your bloodline is black, or the prophecy is back." You know what I mean? You didn't stop Scorpion, quote unquote, or Hanzo, like you thought you did, right? We need to stop this before the tournament happens, because we got one more win to take over them, and we're gonna cheat the whole way. So You can go in and go try to
Yeah.
kill him if you want to.
Cheat to win.
Yeah.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it was two things that it did. One, it assumed that everybody watching the movie is already Mortal Kombat fans and knows what's going on. They just subtly say, "Oh yeah, we won 9. We need one more." Okay, so I guess you got to win 10 to do it. Like anybody who doesn't know wouldn't know that. They're like, "Oh, I guess you got to win 10."
Right.
We know that you got to win 10 straight victories in order to take a rim. The average fan don't know that, you know, coming into this Mortal Kombat film. And then also, stuff that they didn't touch on is that Behind is working for Outworld, but he's from Earth Realm.
Right.
You know.
And
So
another
it's
thing,
just stuff that.
and another thing, cheating is allowed. Look at the video game Mortal Kombat 3, where Shao Kahn said, "You know what?"
Yes, but yeah, I mean, we know that's it's allowed, right? But
exactly.
Yeah, the people who are watching it don't know it's allowed. They don't even know it's disallowed. They don't even know all the rules yet.
They don't even know what the rules are.
Right.
And they're breaking the rules before they even establish, you know. Well, like you said, the guys are useless, man. Like, they don't do they're like the Avengers.
Yeah.
The elder guys are like the Avengers. They don't do shit till after the fact.
Yes. Yeah, and so
you know?
yeah, and then so yeah, he goes after Sub-Zero goes after what's his name?
Cole.
Yes, Cole. He goes after Cole. They get in the truck and they start chasing. I don't understand why he thought he was going to get away from Sub-Zero in the truck. Like, he teleported there, and he just teleported in front of them. Like, I don't understand what Jax's motivation was that. But then Jax got out the car, decided that he was going to pull out a gun and try to kill Sub-Zero, which didn't work. He broke the gun. Then Sub-Zero ended up whooping his ass and then freezing his arms, breaking them off, and that's how Jax lost his arms.
And left his ass to die.
I will
interject something quick though.
Yeah.
He was. I like what he's doing with the Jax character. He kind of gangster. You know, he kind of hard. He's like, I did 6 tours, motherfucker. What's up? Right. You know, I like that energy. You know, so his Jax energy is good. I like his. He did it justice in the beginning. I gotta interject the positives.
He did it. But that was in the beginning though. I think he shined in the beginning. Towards the end was like, okay. To me at least.
I like how Sub-Zero is like portrayed like a horror villain, like Jason or Freddy. Like when his starter was sent down for the burger, and he just saw the snow coming out of nowhere. Like, uh-oh.
It was a lot of menace to him, and I dig that because at the end of the day, this dude is dangerous. You know,
he's a killer. He's a murderer.
You know, especially behind, you know, spoiler alert, Sub-Zero #1.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
He's a scary dude. He was not a good guy. You know. Anybody play? You know, he was not even in the game. You get to play with him. He's not a good guy playing Sub-Zero mythology. He's a bad guy. He's not a good dude. So I like that they captured that he wasn't just some good guy. He's a fucking asshole. You know, and he working for the bad guys and everything. So. That's one of the positives. Sub-Zero was a positive. I think Jax was a positive for the most part. I don't like something we'll talk about later with Jax, but we'll get to that in a second. So Jax got his ass whooped, lost his arms, right? Cole escapes, and he takes his family, and he decides that he has to go meet Jax's partner, Sonya, who he mentioned in passing, to try to find out what the hell is going on. So he leaves his family, go see Sonya. Sonya beat his ass real quick because she don't know who he is. Oh, look, I got the mark. And then she tells him exactly what's going on. And introduce, in my opinion,
the scene stealer.
The best part of this entire movie.
Yes.
Save the movie.
Kano chained to a chair.
Yes.
Talking shit.
They should have named this movie Kano in Mortal Kombat. That's what they should have named.
Round of applause for Josh Lawson.
Yes, he was amazing. Yes.
It's like, okay, he was the best kept secret for Mortal Kombat. It's like, thank you.
Kano was brilliant in this movie. His portrayal, because he was this slimy, degenerate asshole from the first scene on screen to the last scene on screen.
Yep.
And every time he opened his mouth, you either just was like, damn, I want to punch this guy in the face, or you're laughing at what he says. There's
Right.
no in between.
Yeah.
He was pure asshole from beginning to end. And because of that, stuff that happens plot wise with his character is not out of the blue. It's not a thing that she was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. No, yeah, this is in his character to do these type of things. Him and Sonya talking shit with each other right from the beginning. Sonya is stabbing him in the leg.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. It's brilliant. So while they're there, they end up getting attacked by
a reptile.
A saurian. A saurian. I'm not calling that thing reptile.
They called it a reptile.
A saurian.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, it's a reptile.
Yes.
Okay, because if Mortal Kombat Conquest taught us everything, his name is Reptile, as are all of their race.
Well,
they're all called Reptile.
It could be the CG reptile from the '95 movie. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty bad, but at least that CG reptile turned into actual reptile that was from the video game. So
after being thrown into a hollowed out statue.
Thrown into a statue. So, I mean, this one was from more like which game was this reptile? Because there was a reptile like this in the game, in one of the games.
Mortal Kombat
like
4?
Like the Mortal Kombat 4 and up.
No, 4 and up.
From 4 and up, he was super reptilian. Like by the time we got to like Deception and all of that, he was basically a lizard man, with a tail and everything. So that's kind of what they was going for.
Okay.
And I'm not mad at it. I just wish he would have been more than just a little covert assassin. I feel like he should have had a little more character, because I feel like all the quote unquote ninja characters from Mortal Kombat have compelling stories, so they all should get their due. Yes. Reptile, Rain, Ermac,
Smoke,
soon to be Smoke, Noob, everybody, but they once again relegated Reptile to just a henchman role.
Yeah.
But that's
and then they used his they did show some of his powers, his acid and stuff like that, his claws.
And in a pretty subtle, decent way.
Yeah. So then that was a quick little thing. That's they showed their first fatality, right? With
Kano with the heart snatch.
With the heart snatch. Yep. Just took out his heart, and it was still beating in his hand. But I was like, hold on, this is reptile, ain't it? That heart's supposed to grow back.
Or shouldn't your hand be fucking melting because of the acid blood? But I don't know. But it was badass. It was badass, And seeing somebody's actual fatality on screen done well was more than enough to kind of suspend disbelief. Yeah. And you don't even ask these questions. You're just like, oh shit, he just ripped his heart out.
Right.
So that was dope.
Yeah.
And so that's never was a problem really with the movie as far as the action. It can feel a little wire worky from time to time.
Yeah.
It's Mortal Kombat, what you expect,
Yeah.
It's better than,
Or no blood until there is a fatality. Like no bruises or nothing that's just kind of off someone.
I will give him credit for that too, because Cole looked bad this entire movie.
Yes, yeah, he did.
Was beat the fuck up.
He did. I mean, they did it in the beginning with Scorpion or Hanzo, when he was stabbing dudes in the head, and with the Sigh, and then he just took it out their head and stuff like that. Like they did it with that, but other than that, just mostly fatalities with blood. Even when what's the name was getting beat up, was getting punched in the face by Kano. Like there was no blood. So
yeah, and that's something that you gotta kind of. It's just a movie thing, you gotta kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit when it comes to the accuracy of bruises and stuff like that. But I do say, for the most part, they kind of gave a little bit of credit to the stuff, especially with Cole when he was training in the pit and stuff. So the fight's pretty good, the action pretty good, the CG is pretty good, But we dive back into the part that was a little less good, which is back to story. So
yeah,
after Kano kills Reptile, he's like, "Fuck it, I'm out. I ain't got no reason to be here. I'm about to leave." Right. Sonya plays him and says, "I give you $2 million. Tell us where Raiden's temple is if you know where it's at." and he says 3 million. She lies, and because we know she ain't got $3 million,
Right.
live in a trailer, and she works for the military. That's
Right.
But they on their way to Raiden's temple in buttfuck Egypt, wherever it's at. So
Sky
because they
Temple.
never say
They never say
where
where
they're
it's
headed.
at.
They just say I used to run stuff out of that area, so I know where it's at.
Right.
Where is it? In Cambodia? Is it in
Mhm.
Egypt? Is it in India? Nope,
Mhm.
it's in a desert place.
And then
So a little
wait,
character,
and then they run into Liu Kang, right? Walking the opposite way randomly. And then he
Hey,
says,
sorry.
"Oh, it's this way, the way I was walking." Not like he came to meet up with them. He was coming from somewhere, and it was behind them. Like I mean, those details I just don't understand sometimes, right? It's like either you call them like, "Hey, I was looking for y'all," or not. Where was he coming from? Like was he just walking the desert until you found him? Because it was like, yeah, the prophecy is true.
He came out of the sun.
Yeah.
You see him walk out of the sun like a. I mean, story wise, based on what they're saying, he was actively looking for champions, and I don't know if Raiden directed him to go out there or if he sensed them or something, but whatever. But another funny ass character moment happens. Kano's talking shit and gets hit with a fireball.
Yes.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Every moment
Hilarious.
Kano has is great.
Yeah.
But he basically just accepts these people immediately. Oh, you got a mark? Come with me, which is very fucking stupid.
Right.
But that's what he does. He's like, yeah, you got a mark? Come with me. And he takes him to the temple. And Liu Kang, who is in my heart of hearts, and everybody who is a Mortal Kombat fan for the most part, is the champion. Okay.
Yes.
Liu Kang is the champion. Okay. Okay. Spoilers if you haven't played in the games. He wins all the fucking tournaments.
All
okay.
of them. Yes.
Liu Kang is the Goku of Mortal Kombat. Flat out. Okay. He won the first 2 tournaments. Okay. I think Johnny won the third one. Did Johnny win the third tournament?
No,
I can't remember. No, it wasn't even a fucking tournament. No, it
one.
wasn't a tournament. After the second tournament, lost Shao Kahn just said fuck it and invaded. That's what happened. Yeah. But he wins all the tournaments. He beat Shang Tsung, he beat Shao Kahn, he beat Shinnok, he beats everybody, right? That's who he is. This is what he does, okay?
Actually, he didn't beat Shinnok. That honor went to Cassie Cage. She won that tournament.
I mean, if you're talking technically, if we're talking about the new timeline, but in the original timeline, back in Mortal Kombat 4, unless you go with the Shinnok explodes his ass in the temple ending, I mean, but even though we don't really want to talk about Mortal Kombat 4, but I digress. Liu Kang is Goku.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they kind of made him a punk bitch.
Yes, they did. Like his character wasn't established correctly or at all. His emotion wasn't there or nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
And
we have to admit, Kung Lao had the best entrance though after that part.
Yes, Kung Lao had the best interest. Yes, best entrance. Yes.
Entrance.
Kung Lao shows up once they get to the temple when shit jumps off. His entrance is balling. He teleports in with the hat. He's doing this thing. Kung Lao was amazing. And essentially they fought off an invasion from Shang Tsung and his forces as soon as they pretty much got there, because Shang Tsung's like, listen, I don't give a damn about the rules. I'm about to kill all of y'all, and then by the time the tournament start, y'all ain't gonna have nobody to fight.
Right. Yes.
Oh, skipped a little bit. Remember, they had to do the training first after Kung Lao showed up with the teleportation.
And that went horribly. I mean,
no, he was right. No.
Martez
was right. No, Shang Tsung showed up first, and then they put up. He put up the. Then he put up the barrier. The barrier up. Yeah.
And once the training starts, it's more hilarity because funny Easter egg. If you peep game, it's an Easter egg during the training, right? So everybody's training. Cole's getting his ass whooped because he sucks.
Right.
And then Kano's turn comes up, right?
Yes.
And Liu Kang trips him.
Yes.
He trips him again.
Yes.
He trips again. And that's a nod to anybody who's ever played Mortal Kombat. You trip them back to back to back. Yep. And I thought that was dope. So that was one of the thumbs up moments that I gave the movie with that. But essentially, they training led to nothing.
Right.
Oh, I thought he was going to
And
talk about the Easter eggs when they first got there. I like what
oh yeah,
Kano
or
pickpocketed.
Shinnok's amulet that he tried to steal.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
he tried
Yes.
to steal Shinnok's amulet. Katana's fans just sitting there. A
Yes.
lot of interesting stuff,
Yes.
sitting around there. It
Mm-hmm.
almost felt like the Odin's Vault scene in Thor. You see all these little Easter eggs that are going to matter later if they get picked up for a sequel.
Yeah. What you
So
think?
that's pretty cool.
What you think about Jack's skinny arms? Like,
So we're starting to get into the problematic territory. Some I didn't mention. Some I didn't mention. When they get there, Jax is there. They've rescued Jax.
Yes.
Okay, he survived somehow, and he's laying on the table with no arms. So for some apparently reason, some
Liu Kang went and got him. By the
MacGuffin.
way, Liu Kang went and got him. Raiden
So,
told him to go get him.
yeah, he walked out of the sun. He walked out of the sun, and he went and got Jax, and then he walked back into the sun and brought him. But for some MacGuffin, some Deus Ex Machina reason, the monks in his temple know how to create fucking mech arms.
Right.
And they gave him baby mech arms, these tiny little skinny mannequin arms that he had on his arm.
Yes.
He can mystically and magically use them as soon as he wakes up.
Right.
Okay, this is what happened. So Jax has his arms. There's no explanation, at least in the games, when he lost his arms, he got metal arms. It was the special forces who did it. They got all kinds of technology, best technology on Earth. They can make prosthetic arms.
At least in the second movie, they did a better job explaining how he got his arms. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they started off big, not scrawny little arms.
Once again, and then it's funny because Jax was the best part of that movie too. But,
yes.
That was their reason of using Arcana. So I guess it's like, okay, we got to explain this Arcana thing.
So Arcana, that is the MacGuffin of the movie, Arcana. So we could say that they tapped into his Arcana to grow these metal arms because that matters later. So that's what we'll go with. They used monk magic, Arcana, essentially, which is deeper than that. It's more of something that comes from your soul and you use your abilities. I digress. Interesting ways that it works for you. But so Jax is laying there. He's got these metal arms he can suddenly use. And Sonya gets put on the bench because she does not have a mark.
Nope.
For some reason.
Because she didn't kill anybody for it. Or she's not part of a bloodline. That's what.
Because she's not part of a bloodline or something like that.
Yes.
And that's something else. But, considering Sonya is one of the only people in this movie who was literally in the first game.
Yes.
Has been there since day one.
Right.
I found it interesting to exclude her like that.
My question is, why do this mark shit? Is that part of like the new timeline?
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, if you ask Laura Raiden, if you don't have a dragon mark, you can't travel through portals because they do not share my bloodline. And when you die, this tattoo will flee your body.
Yeah, so that they didn't need the tattoos. Like they could have did this whole movie without the tattoos. They could have just said, "Hey, you guys are here. We need the best fighters for this tournament. You guys are here. Let's fight." Right? They didn't need there was
there's different ways to do product placement. They could have made a deal with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You didn't have to put the Mortal Kombat.
Flat out. It's simple too. It's the simplest thing in the world. We're collecting the best fighters on the planet. Instead of making Cole a worthless MMA fighter, make him the fucking MMA champion.
Right.
Make him make him a good fighter.
But not just that.
Got you because you're the best.
But not just that. All you had to do is say Raiden dropped him off a long time ago. He's part of a strong ass bloodline. He can be one of the good allies. That's all they need. Right?
Simple stuff,
They didn't need the freaking fake ass symbols. Like
the tattoo thing was extra.
Yeah.
It's a nice little earned it moment later that comes, but unnecessary as a whole. But so when Shang Tsung and crew did show up.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
When Shang Tsung and crew did show up, it pretty much let them know that they was over their head because Sub-Zero and Mileena and them was basically just letting them know that they was weak as hell. Like, we've been doing this for thousands of years. Right. Okay, we the best. So everything kind of feel hopeless.
Well, yeah, too,
But
because I mean, he sent what's the name home. Raiden was like, "Hey, you're not up for this. You can't get your powers yet. So I'm just sending you home."
what but it was an it was a God of useless moment when he was actually useful, because it was one of them things that he did because he knew he had to do it that way for Cole to activate.
Hmm.
And you could see the smug look on his face when he came back because he knew what time it was. But
But
him sending him back
who they
is one of the
had the
biggest.
yeah, man. Go
But
ahead.
before we get to that point, we
Go
gotta
ahead.
remember that's when Kano turned that led to
Yes.
all this.
Yeah, Kano
And can we
turned.
talk about and can we talk about Cabal too?
Yeah, yeah.
That convinced Shang Tsung to go to Kano. Like when did Cabal turn to a Brooklyn Italian accent type of individual?
Mortal Kombat 10.
Yes.
As
Yes.
they gave him his recent portrayal, because that's how he sounds in the most recent games.
Hmm.
And I hate to admit this, but I'm here for it, bro. I don't know what it was. It was just something about him. He was cool as hell. He's like, oh yeah, that's the motherfucker. That's the reason I'm in this suit. I go get his ass.
Hmm.
He was
Hmm.
super cool to be
Hmm.
done. Cabal was super cool. So I don't know. That's kind of why they did it. I feel they just was trying to tie it to the more recent game portrayals. Just like how they completely retconned Kano based on the first Mortal Kombat movie. He wasn't Australian. He's supposed
Right.
to be half Chinese, half American in the first
Mm-hmm.
game. And sometimes it's retroactive, but Kano got his superpower from getting shit talked to him. We
Right.
forgot to mention that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kung Lao and Liu Kang was talking shit to him at the dinner table, and it pissed him off, and that's how he got his laser eye.
Yep, yep, yep. That makes sense.
That's neither here nor there. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It's just
Not getting his ass whooped, just talking shit to him. Like,
talking
he got
shit
his
to him.
ass whooped the whole time.
So his Arcana
But
is pretty much the Hulk and getting angry and shoots out lasers.
I guess so. With no metal eye
right,
neither.
no matter what,
No metal eye.
his I mean, if he's no matter what, is
He had
his
the metal eye.
superpower is soft skin.
Yeah, he had the metal eye in the previews. Like they just took it out.
They had the
They
scar.
made it seem like he might get it because he had the scar that he got from Reptile. And they kind of hinted like he was going to lose the eye, but that doesn't happen. He just got soft skin and gets laser eyes. That's what happens.
So then they send what's the name, Cole, back, and this is the biggest disgrace of the movie to me.
Yes. So we about to get into it. Kano flips on him because Cabal shows up and convinces them to join the winning side. And Kano, being Kano, who is completely in character, has never showed loyalty to these people. He's like, fuck it. Yeah, I'll leave. Their money, fame, the winning side. Yes, I'll flip on them, no problem. And he does.
Right.
So he destroys the barrier, and Shang Tsung's forces are able to attack. Meanwhile, Cole he's getting attacked as well. You ready?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Fucking Goro attacks Cole.
Goro,
the guy who killed the original Mortal Kombat champion, the Great Kung Lao.
Right.
Okay.
And let me
Goro
try to find
shows
this so
up
people,
to kill Cole.
Just in case people don't know who this guy is. There he goes, right there. Goro, the four-armed dude, the second to last guy that you fight in Mortal Kombat games tournaments, period. I don't understand.
The sub-boss of the game.
I don't understand why he showed up.
I don't understand why. I don't understand why they sent him after the new guy.
Right.
Okay. You got the Prince of the Shokan, the Mortal Kombat champion.
Yes.
Because that's who he is at this point. He was the Mortal Kombat champion.
Yes.
He killed the great Kung Lao and began the great winning streak of the 9 victories they have won.
Yes.
He is Outworld's greatest champion.
Yes.
With the exception of Shang Tsung.
Yes.
And that's who they send to kill the new guy.
Right.
Guess what? He fucking loses.
He loses
to the new guy.
And the new guy gets
Black Panther ripoff.
Yes, the new guy gets his Black Panther powers.
That is totally what it's like. So let's talk about the new guy's power. His power is getting his ass whooped.
Yes. Hold on, wait. That's already
literally
his power.
His ability.
That was already his power.
I get my ass whooped and it make me charge up. and it gives me Tonfa.
Man. Tonfa with blades at the end.
Like the lamest martial art weapon of all time.
Yes,
Tonfa.
yes, Tonfa.
It gives you
right.
Tonfa.
Yes,
One of them has a blade.
Yes, one of them has a blade.
And he bodies the prince of the Shokan. He bodies the Mortal Kombat champion, Goro.
Yeah.
With abilities that he gained during the fight.
Right. Slices his belly out. Right? Man. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
He'll be back. He has to fight in the next tournament because he's the champion. But he'll be pieced back together.
I mean, they all get teleported back. So, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Like, they could have sent somebody else after him. Like, to whoop his ass. Anybody.
You're pulling in super duper obscure characters like Natara and Reiko.
Mm-hmm.
You could have pulled somebody else. Send
we didn't get to that part yet.
Right. Send
we
Jade.
didn't get back to the fight at the Sky Temple with the rest of them yet.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So we said something that is true, but it's technically not true. We told you guys that there's no tournament. And there's not an official tournament, but they kind of jury rig a tournament by convincing each other in a group. Okay, we need to isolate these people and fight them one by one.
Oh no, wait. Before that, we have to talk about Jax's arms and how he got to his arms, because
and Kung Lao's fight before that too.
Yes.
Kung
yeah.
Lao
yeah. So
Katara.
Yeah. So Kung Lao fights Katara, right? Because Kung Lao was ready to fight Shang Tsung. He was like, "Look, come on, man, me versus you, fighter versus fighter." Shang Tsung was like, "Yeah, you beneath me. I'm not ready to fight this movie. So I'm gonna let this flying bitch up here that I think is so beautiful come after you, and she's gonna whoop your ass." Kung Lao was like, "Yeah, nah. Let me just sit here and pray for a minute while she is trying to stalk me. I'm going to sit here and pray." And here she comes. She grabs me, and then she grabs Kung Lao, and then he does the sickest shit ever.
Dun, dun, dun.
He does his fatality out of nowhere without even whooping her ass. He just throws his hat on the ground and slices her in half and pulls her in like a fucking saw. And that was the end of her. That was the end of her.
Another highlight of the movie. Yep. It was gorgeous. It was so good on screen.
And guess how
Kung Lao dripping off his hat.
Yeah, all the hat and everything. And guess how Kung Lao paid for that? He got his soul taken out without no fight.
Your soul is mine.
Your soul is mine.
I feel bad for that actor.
Yeah.
This is his first lead role because he's part of Jackie Chan's stunt team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man.
Top tier guys, and this is what you get.
Yep.
At least they gave him his roses a little bit because that was a dog ass fatality.
Yes.
You know, it was game accurate, everything.
Yes.
He got rid of Natara, who, for those who don't know, was a vampire later on in the Mortal Kombat series. We had very little significance to anything, which is why it's easy to kill a character. So
yes,
there you go.
Yeah.
But that was dope.
Yeah, it was dope. That he got his soul taken out, so that was the end of Kung Lao, I guess. I mean, yeah, that's the end of him. So and then Raiden ends up taking him into the in-between world, the world in between our realm and their realm, I guess, for no reason at all. It's a
load screen.
Yeah, basically, yes, it's a load screen. And then your boy Cole was like, "Oh, I got an idea. Let's separate them so we can fight them all one-on-one. Oh, guess what? But me and you are going to team up. Then me and you are going to team up. Oh, Jack said, "Oh, I got this. Let me just go take old dude with the big old hammer because me and him got some little bit of history for the last 15 minutes that we fought." So they all split up. And then Jax goes and fights the big dude with the hammer and handles him. He basically breaks the hammer and takes the hammer, throws him on the ground, and basically beats him in 1 minute.
Oh, wait. Yeah, but how did he beat him? We forgot to mention how Jax even had the ability to fight.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He has magic metal arms.
Yeah,
back to the Sky Temple.
Yes. So yeah, he was at the Sky Temple and he was trying to save Sonya, and his little scrawny arms wasn't doing anything. So Just his willpower made him turn Super Saiyan, and now he got
And
big old arms
Arcana
like
kicked
Broly.
He
His
he pulled a
Arcana
Grinch
kicked
that
in.
stole Christmas,
Yes.
and his arms grew 3 sizes that day. And
All because
that's what his magical power is.
Yes.
His arms, his metal arms. He's an alchemist. He's a
Yes.
full metal alchemist.
Yes. I mean, basically, his Arcana was his arms just getting bigger so he can be stronger so he can lift a rock. And all that willpower to lift a rock actually turned his powers on. And
Now, granted, he did get down on Reiko, so I
yes.
give him that. He beat the dog shit out of Reiko.
Yes, he did.
And that was dope because
Yeah.
it wasn't even like, it wasn't one of those things where it's like, he was getting whooped and he no, Jax went and got funky like he was supposed to, because that's
Yes.
what Jax really does.
Yes.
Story-wise, he's supposed to be the strongest human on the planet.
Yes.
And then his arms really boost that. And he
Yes.
went and he gave fake wannabe Shao Kahn a ass whooping.
Yes.
And I liked it that went
Mhm.
how it should have to me, so that was dope.
Yeah, he whooped Wish.com Shao Kahn's ass. That's basically what he was. He was nothing without that hammer. Once he lost that hammer, it was like, oh, they beat me. Hey, you know what they should have did though? He was on that bridge. Why didn't he just uppercut him off the bridge and then they did that fatality?
Yeah, they should have saved a bridge fight for somebody else, because if you're gonna do the head smash fatality, which was dope, don't get me wrong, then
Right.
you should have just had that fight in a different place and
Right.
had somebody else do the bridge fatality.
Right.
Because that's dope.
I mean, he's the only one that really could execute it with those strong arms right now. So unless
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah. Yeah, so then next fight was Kano and Sonya, right? Kano and Sonya, and then she
Kill Bill style in the trailer.
Kill Bill style, just throwing everything she could at him, knives. What was that she threw in his face to make him stop using his laser? What was it, super glue? Did she take old dude's power? Glue man's?
He took Zemo power.
Zemo's power to stop him from using
It was
his laser.
glue or something. It was some kind of chemical that she threw at his face and he couldn't shoot his laser. I think it might have been glue. That's funny. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, so
but essentially,
yeah, she kills him, and that's how she gets her tattoo, by killing Kano.
Call back to some earlier. Kano had spit on one of her garden gnomes earlier in the movie.
Oh yeah,
she stabbed him.
Yeah, she stabbed him with the garden gnome. That
I don't think he's actually dead though, because she stabbed him in the eye that gets replaced with a cybernetic eye in the game. So I think he'll be back.
So did she take the tattoo just by defeating him?
That's what I'm thinking.
Then who measures the defeat?
The elder gods are useless.
Yeah, as I said.
I'm telling you, they're fucking useless.
Who measures the defeat? Like, who said? Is there a referee somewhere?
I guess the other guys watching. Plot holes.
It's the god of defeat. When he see a defeat, he acts, and that's it. Somebody got to lose first before he step in.
Maybe it was smoke, because smoke was everywhere, but you never saw smoke.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta introduce smoke in order to get Noob Saibot.
Yeah. So then after that, Liu Kang is going against what's his name again? I always forget his name. Cabal. Liu Kang is going against Cabal, and this is where he shined a little bit. He used all of his Mortal Kombat 3 techniques. He used
bicycle kick came off organically.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He didn't use his what was it, straight kick, the one where he goes in like straight like that, his dragon kick.
Disappointingly so.
Yeah, he didn't use that. He did use his fireballs a couple times, even arced him a little bit, and then and then he came out with his fatality, which was put Cabal in the mud. It's like, oh, I can't move. Oh yeah, so now you just can't move. I'm about to bring this really big dragon and eat your ass, but it's not really gonna eat you. It's just gonna burn you on fire and just look like it eats you.
Yeah, because it wasn't a dirt. He was actually standing like an oil.
An oil? Oh, okay.
Yep.
It was oil. Okay. He should have said it. Oh no, I'm in oil. Doesn't look like he was in quicksand or dirt.
Yeah, he just looked down. They were like, "What the hell?" They were like, "What the f?" I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
Right. So and then
lit his ass up.
Yep. And then Melina is fighting Cole, which Cole is getting his
Yeah.
ass whooped by Melina.
Because that's his superpower.
Because that's a
My ass
superpower. And then Cole can't even defeat nobody by himself. In this whole movie, he got helped every way imaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't win a single fight without assistance.
Right.
Even against Goro, because his wife,
his
wife, who's not a combatant,
That's right.
stabbed Goro in the side with an axe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that was the opportunity that he had.
Yep.
His wife.
So, yep. And then
who's not a combatant.
Yeah, so while Cole is fighting Melina, Sonya shows up with her powers that she just knew automatically. Like she didn't even she just learned them. Like Sub-Zero did.
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Came in straight off her arms, little circles right through Melina's uterus. And now she can't have kids and she's dead. So they even showed her a little. Hold on, wait. They even showed the spine, which I don't understand why the spine wasn't gone if everything else was gone. But I guess they needed some more gore in there. So, yeah, Melina's gone. Poor Melina. So then Sub-Zero shows up, and Sub-Zero's like, "Hey, well, while everybody else is fighting, let me go steal a wife and kid real quick. But my plot hole with all this is that you kill Scorpion's family, but you don't kill Cole's. Why?"
It looks like he tried to after he kidnapped them. I guess you want to watch him suffer. Oh no, never plot holes. Like, don't watch him suffer. Just kill him. Just got him frozen right there.
Yeah.
You don't watch him. Like, really?
So Cole and Sub-Zero's in a fight, and guess who shows up? Scorpion out of nowhere made his entrance by just pulling Sub-Zero and just says, "Yes, I came out of hell to fight you."
He brought him. He summoned him by accident. If you pay attention, when he got his blood on the dagger, it activated the bloodline, and that's how Scorpion was supposed to got summoned.
Actually, I like your theory, but if you watch the end when Cole talked to Raiden, Cole told Raiden, "I thought you couldn't interfere." Remember, Scorpion said, "I came back. I got pulled from the Neverrealm to get you."
Yes. So Raiden actually did that.
Raiden grabbed him.
Sorry to disappoint you, Dennis.
Well, I mean, hey, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I feel like because Raiden also gave him the dagger.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see. But
maybe it was a combination of the two. Maybe he had to get the blood on the dagger, then Raiden can bring him up.
Or maybe Raiden just knew that Cole was a bitch, and then he could win that fight.
Or you know what? No. You know what? No, I think Marquez is right, Aaron, because he did give him the blade, and he thought that if he got that blood on the blade, that was the only way to summon his father. So, his grandfather, or his great-great-grandfather, or his great-great-grandcousin.
Like he said, Aaron said, with that being said, the fact that it could be either of the things we just said is a plot hole. Yes. They didn't make it clear.
It could be
either of the things.
Yeah. So, up to interpretation. So,
but what's not up to interpretation is the fact that Cole can't win a fight by himself.
No, he cannot.
No.
That is not open for interpretation.
Cole cannot win by himself.
And help him defeat Sub-Zero, who quite frankly was the tank of this whole movie.
Yes.
Sub-Zero was just putting it down, you know. And
Sub-Zero keeps fighting, and he's getting his ass whooped because he's getting fought by two people, right? But the more and more he gets into this fight, the more and more he takes off his armor. Which is another thing I don't understand. So why are you taking off your armor in the middle of a fight? Are you trying to get faster?
That's a cheap way to help the actor out, because I watched the interview. The actor said the costume was so damn heavy that they had to come up with ingenious ways to make it lighter.
Yeah, which is smart. And this is just my little noticing thing. I don't know if it's what they planned because it wasn't exactly executed well, but the more armor that came off him, the more Noob Saibot looking he started to look too.
Yeah,
because you know he started to look more because there's a lot more dark stuff underneath and stuff. So I don't know if that's relevant, if they even thought that far ahead, but
Yep.
fans know that behind becomes noob sidebot,
Yeah.
and that's supposed to be what happens now. The Scorpion's got his revenge. We'll see if that's what happens if they get a sequel. But
And
I don't know.
Scorpion got his revenge by doing his fatality on him and taking off the mask and blowing fire onto him to melt him into ash. So, yeah. So that was the movie because coal doesn't matter at the end of the
day. Oh, don't forget, at the end of the day, they decide, okay, we got to collect the rest of the champions so we can get ready for the tournament when it does actually drop. And Cole goes to get Johnny. He's on his way to get Johnny Cage, who should have been in this fucking movie to start.
Right. Yes.
And
wait. So and the other thing I don't understand is why is he going to get Johnny Cage in the second movie? Why is that so important? Like,
I guess he is a major character in the lore, so
yeah, I know that.
I mean,
yeah, I guess.
Who who don't want to go get the ninja mine, man?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get Cage. I mean, I just feel like they hadn't casted or paid money to get Cage in the first movie to an actor who they wanted for Cage, and that's why he wasn't in this one, because whoever they get to play Cage first has to be amazing. Second, it's probably going to be expensive, and based on the short list that they've been talking about, they probably couldn't afford the people that they were looking at yet.
Mm. Yeah, because they probably paid all these guys like $500,000 to be in this movie.
Well, I'm kind of happy they didn't do that yet because, because imagine having both him and Kano. It was still something to shine for Kano. So
right, it would have been good banter back and forth though.
Plus, Cage's moves, they probably was like, we got enough CG to do all the Cage moves except for the split nut punch is all CG. Mm-hmm. All that damn shadow work,
Yeah.
Put that on one of the people on the short list, Chris Pratt, which I would love to see because that'd be amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh my God, could you imagine Chris Pratt as Johnny Cage?
Yeah, he was
all
Johnny.
That shit talking.
He was basically Johnny Cage in Scott Pilgrim.
That's Chris Evans
versus the world. Oh, Chris Evans. Sorry, Chris Pratt. My bad. Sorry.
That's a good choice too. Chris Evans. and neither of them are busy right now.
Everyone on Twitter is saying get the Miz.
I've heard a lot of people say the Miz, and
you don't have to pay him that much.
I would be behind that too.
Yeah,
because the Miz he used to getting paid what he would get paid about for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He already has movie experience, and he's fucking hilarious.
Well, if they made Johnny Cage black.
I wouldn't mind that, but
I mean that's something that would pull. Happen. And that was another thing Aaron brought to me up earlier. So Melina's black, so that means Katana's supposed to be black, right? Whenever she shows up.
Well, hopefully so, because as we all know, even if you're a clone of somebody, if you're somebody's twin, you can be played by a completely different actress. Ain't that right?
Right.
Instead of just getting Talisa Soto to throw on a mask to fight Sonya in the mud, let's cast somebody completely.
Right. All right, so
just saying.
Let's give our grades of the movie, man. So if we're going to give a grade from 1 to 10 of the movie, what would you give it? Mortal Kombat. Martez, you could go first.
I'm going to go first. 6.
6? Why?
Because it has issues. Mm-hmm. It has issues, but I still have fun watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it. It was the issues. They're issues, but the issues weren't so bad that it made me like, damn, I would rather watch Annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
It's still better than Annihilation. It's
mm-hmm.
better than Conquest.
Mm-hmm.
I would still, though, put the original Mortal Kombat higher than this one.
Just off story alone.
Mortal Kombat. Yep, just based off story alone. The one thing this movie has going for it was the fights. It was pretty good. The gore was great. And, it hit a lot of nostalgic moments with, like, the fatalities, little subtle Easter egg stuff like that. So the fan service is there. and because of that, it kind of boosted up a little for me. So I'd give it a 6.
All right, Aaron, what about you?
As much crap that I talked about this movie, if I rewatch it, I'll still enjoy it. So I'm gonna give it a 7 because I think of this in the back of my head. It's the Iron Man of the franchise.
Mm,
Not great, but a good movie. It's a stepping stone for the sequels. You can only go up from here. Knock on wood. It's Warner Brothers, so it can go either way.
Legit.
all right. Well, I'm gonna meet you guys in the middle, and I'm gonna give it a 5 because. Well, yeah. Well, not that's not in the middle. You guys were. I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna give it a
You're
5.
below.
Yes, I'm below because um, the movie was mediocre to me. Even the fights felt short. Even though there were a lot of them, they felt short. Especially Jax's fight, Melina's fight with Sonya. I think they could have elaborated more on the fights, more of their powers. Melina's powers weren't really explained that well. Yeah, she was disappearing, but she wasn't doing much when she was disappearing. But the story was not that great. The Goro was being placed where he was placed wasn't great at all. Cole didn't matter in this movie to me at all. They could have wrote this movie without him, and still would have been the same, right? Without Cole. So
Mhm.
yeah, I give it a 5. There's a lot of plot holes that need to be filled, and that mainly goes on the director and story writing. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I give it a 5 out of 10.
So
You
we got
got
a 5, a 6, and a 7.
yeah. Do you guys think you guys think it's sequel worthy?
Yeah, I definitely
I
do.
think it's
Like I said,
sequel necessary. I wouldn't even go as far as to say sequel worthy. I think it's sequel necessary. They have to have a sequel because they gotta explain stuff that wasn't explained, and they gotta make up for the shortcomings of this one. If
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't get a sequel, it'll be a travesty
Mm-hmm.
because they have to, or not even if not a sequel, we need a Snyder cut. Re-edit this boy
Right.
because that's really the main problem. I feel like there's a better movie in there somewhere
Mm-hmm.
that just is on the cutting room floor somewhere. I just feel like why even have Cole and not have Johnny?
Right.
Johnny and Cole serve the same purpose story wise. They're supposed to be our person to identify with into this strange world of mysticism and stuff.
My question
So
is, why didn't they just make it an origin story? They could have did this like Marvel did, to where they had a Scorpion versus Sub Zero movie, right?
mhm.
And then a Liu Kang, coming of age movie, to establish all this and then, I don't think, well, Raiden doesn't need his own movie because he's very bland anyway. But they,
A special forces one they could have with Jackson Sonya.
yeah, Jackson, Sonya, stuff like that. Like they could have, and I think you're right, Martez. I think that it could have been better as a show because they could have had longer times to establish these characters and then them all come together at the end of the season to start this
yeah, they
tournament.
should have took one. They should have took one out of the series that even was the spawn of them even getting the opportunity to make another movie.
Yeah.
The Legacy series,
Yes. Yeah.
they
Hmm.
told a short story about certain characters each episode.
Yes.
And it was dope. They even took a twist. They changed the story up. Oh, Liu Kang's one of the bad guys now.
Right.
He
Yeah.
decided after this tournament he gonna join. Little stuff like that. They showed you what to do
Mm-hmm.
on a
Mm-hmm.
shoestring budget on YouTube,
Right.
bro.
Right. And I hope Aaron's right to where it is a stepping stone like Iron Man and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Hopefully, but they need to do some reflection on this movie and you're like, hey, where do we go wrong? And number one they went wrong is Cole. Like he
Cole.
is Cole,
Unnecessary.
and I'm sorry because I love the actor. I love every show that he's been in that I watched, but his character does not need to be in this at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So with that being said, we're gonna go on to the next thing, but I'm gonna close this one out first, um, because this is gonna be a two-parter. So we're gonna end this one right here. So thank you guys for watching. Remember, we're here live every Saturday morning, like a '90s cartoon, And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe wherever you're at on Facebook, YouTube, and any other platform that we're going to be on. And make sure that you follow Martez at his socials. Can you say them, Martez?
For sure, follow Dark Morpheus ASMR on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
And you follow Aaron at.
AVH313 at Twitter and Phoenix_Force313 on Twitter.
All right. And you can follow me at on Jacob Martinez on Facebook or Mr. Also. And thank you guys for watching. Peace out.
Peace.